I never thought betrayal would come wearing such familiar faces. Dan and I had been trying for a baby for almost 2 years when the doctor told me I was infertile. That word, infertile, felt like a verdict, like a scarlet letter permanently burned onto my chest. I remember staring blankly at the white walls of the clinic while Dan squeezed my hand. At the time, I thought it was comfort, but now I know it was guilt. Because not long after that, I found out Dan had been sleeping with my sister, Emma. Emma. My baby sister. The one I braided hair for, defended in schoolyard fights, helped through her first heartbreak. The one who always seemed to shine a little brighter, who always got more attention at the dinner table, more hugs from mom, more smiles from dad. They said it just happened, that they didn't mean for it to, that they were both hurting, and one thing led to another. I left Dan. There was no screaming, no begging, just silence. I packed my life into boxes and left him to hers. A year later, they were married. Emma wore white. Mom called it a second chance at happiness, like I'd just been a footnote in their story. And then came the mocking. Subtle, cutting. Emma would send photos of her baby bump, captions like "so blessed" or "God's gift." She made sure I saw them. Dan would post about real family and sometimes tag my parents, never me. My parents, God. They never once took my side. Mom even told me Emma was just looking for love. You shouldn't have pushed Dan away. And Dad, he barely looked at me anymore. It all crushed me. I spent days in bed crying until I couldn't breathe. I felt empty, like I didn't belong to this world anymore. My body, my home, my family had all turned against me. But then, a friend, Mira, gave me a suggestion that saved my life. She said, just leave. Travel, breathe somewhere else. So I did. I sold what little I had, blocked Emma and my parents, and got on a plane to nowhere. Just me and a backpack. It was somewhere in Bali that I met Harry. He was photographing a fisherman at sunrise. I remember the way he smiled at me, like he'd known me forever. He asked if I wanted a photo too, and I said yes, even though I hated how I looked back then. He saw something in me I didn't see in myself. We started talking, then traveling together. He was kind, funny, patient. Never once made me feel broken. He encouraged me to start filming my own travel experiences and helped me set up an online channel. I thought no one would care, but somehow people did. They listened, they watched, the channel grew. I could finally support myself doing something I loved. Somewhere along the way, friendship turned into something deeper. I was scared. I didn't want to be hurt again. But Harry never rushed me. When he finally proposed, it was on a quiet mountain morning in Nepal, just the two of us, and I said yes through tears. Years later, when my father fell critically ill, I went back with Harry. Not because I missed them, but because I needed closure. That's when I saw Dan and Emma's twins, a boy and a girl. They had Emma's curls and Dan's smirk, but there was no warmth in that home. Emma looked tired, older, bitter. She told me Dan had cheated on her, too, just months after she gave birth. His excuse? That she had changed. Like motherhood was supposed to leave her untouched. He left her with 2 toddlers, barely paying child support, while she relied on mom's pension to get by. I won't lie, I felt a flicker of justice, but mostly I felt numb. Maybe even pity. And maybe that's when I realized I'd really moved on. Harry was with me through it all. His hand never left mine. 2 years later, after long talks and quiet dreams, we adopted a beautiful little girl from India. Her name is Mahika. She's laughter and sunshine, chaos and joy. She calls me Mama, and every time she does, it heals a part of me I thought was gone forever. My parents still send the occasional message. I reply sometimes. Emma hasn't changed, but I don't expect her to anymore. I have my own little family now, Harry, Mahika, and me. We're not perfect. We're not traditional. But we're whole, and that's more than I ever thought I'd have.